Number 25. Do some Beethoven here, a little more sophisticated. 25.
Even though this song is simple, usually Beethoven and these kind are really difficult.
Yeah.
This is pretty straightforward.
25. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee.
First Peter, and I didn't get out any lessons. I don't think I did. I don't think I went in the file cabinet. Is there First Peter underneath that basket?
No.
That's all right. I'll pull it out next week. They're already meeting up there. Yeah, could you? First Peter. It's probably the second drawer down in the corner there. I mean, I've never been in a church where they ever passed out lessons like this. Were you in a church like that? In all the churches I've ever been in, they never passed out anything. Other than tithing. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. All right, this has something to do with preaching today. Now, I gave the kids a real big clue, my grandchildren, but they didn't guess it. But this has something to do with preaching today.
Is it a back scratcher?
It's a back scratcher. It doesn't represent a back
Is it a comforter?
Huh?
Is it a comforter?
That's a good guess, but
You don't get comfort from scratching your back?
Oh, yeah, well, it's not the comforter. All right, I'll give you a major clue. I'll give you the major clue. Okay? That's the clue.
The hidden hand?
You know what? We did that in college. We were taking,
Is that a hand?
we were taking engineering measurements. Dr. Kraus was teaching it, and he was given, it was a final, it was an exam. I think it was the final. I think 30 was passing. That's how bad it was. You have to know differential equations to get the gasoline out of the tank and then the car to know what the measurement is. You have to know advanced calculus. And he did the squiggles and the wiggles, all the wiggling of it. And one of the guys, and a lot of people from NAM was there. I think it was the captain or something. And one of them said, boy, I just let the cat right out of the bag. No one got it. Everybody was laughing because we couldn't follow that, doctor. But here's the clue. This is the clue, what this is.
The hidden hand.
No.
Supposed to put underneath your jugular?
No. That's the clue. Now, the kids didn't get it.
Your heart?
Well, think about it, what this is. Right there. What this piece of the thing is. You can't guess it?
Back scratcher.
Well, we know it's a back scratcher. It's a broken back scratcher. I use these
Yeah,
things.
but I would say it has to do with the back scratcher.
Well, if it's located right here, what is this?
Scratching.
If you were to guess what that is.
I
I was having some fun here. Now, the kids didn't get it. I figured adults, you guys would get it. But if you don't get it, that's okay. I'd probably be sitting there not knowing what it is. It always helps when you know ahead of time what the answer is. So you don't know what that is, what that represents? This thing. This piece in a human body. Who said that? You got it.
What did you say?
No, keep it a secret. Don't tell him. That's what this is. You guessed it. Now the kids did not guess it, but I did give them. I didn't really egg them on like I was egging you guys on. But that's what that's going to be. I did go for a walk in the woods. There's snow out there. I was going to look for a dead deer, but I didn't get that far. So, but I found a broken one of these to represent, this is off a giant. Anyway, but that's what that is. So we're going to preach on this. Everybody okay? Everybody fine? Is Molly going to fit all those kids in that car? Oh, they're here. Well, where's Molly? She said she was coming today. I hope so. All right. Anyway, everybody got 1 Peter? These are called now had to be 2 weeks ago. Joe brought up about verses I was using in that Ruckman says that they don't apply to us, that they apply to the Jews only. Is that what he said?
I think that's what I was.
Yeah, neither here nor there. Now,
Tribulation type thing.
yeah, now what happens when you do that is you end up penknifing things out of the Bible and say it doesn't apply to us, such as the Beatitudes. How many Beatitudes are there?
10.
I think there's 8. And then Jesus goes and says, woe unto you Pharisees. I think in Matthew, I don't know, somewhere. Woe unto you, woe unto you. And there's 8 woes. There's 8 blessings. I think there's 8 woes. And so our doctrine comes from the Pauline epistles, where we get our doctrine from. And we tend not to get our doctrine from the Gospels. And there's probably more than one reason for that. But you can't just penknife it out and say, well, it doesn't apply to me. Now, you can say the Old Testament, there's things in the Old Testament that don't apply to us anymore. Like the light is no longer burning in the temple. It was to stay lit, it says forever. Now, one guy, I don't know if it was in preaching or in a sermon, or if I read it, is when the Bible says forever and ever, that's when it's forever. But when it says forever, it doesn't necessarily mean forever and ever. So the light went out, the temple doesn't exist. And then you would argue, well, you had the light of God in you, and you're the temple now. All that works. That all works. So we don't want to exclude anything in the Bible. I'm going to try to prove, well, from Genesis 1 all the way through, it's all about Jesus and us. Yes, go for it.
I heard it said that forever can mean until the time of its necessity is over. The necessity of the temple is over, it's been finished.
Right.
Until the millennium, then it'll be a different story.
Right, like the temple gets rebuilt and so in Jeremiah, and what's that for? People try to answer that, but it really
The
isn't.
temple that Jesus is going to rule from.
Well, he's going to rule, if you don't obey, man. It's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not going to be any protesting.
It's going to be sight. There's no longer faith. It's always going to be sight.
It's going to be done by sight. You go to Jerusalem, you can see it. You turn on the television. Now, we know it's not TV. You turn it on, you can see it. Right? You get on your clicker, on your computer, you're not going to go to 3, 5, and 8 and see the news. Jesus is the news. And wherever you tune to. Anyway, James we ended that last week. I wanted to bring that up. I think that's part of what we call these are called the general epistles. It begins, I believe, I don't think it begins with Hebrews. It's James, 1st, 2nd Peter, and so on. These are called the general epistles. And I know I have that listed in one of these. I went back over James to find that, and I couldn't. But anyway, it's written about 65 AD. Now, I had a friend do this. His girlfriend was Marilyn, and he would go, was this BM or AM, before Marilyn or after Marilyn? And so I do this with my wife. Is this BD or AD? Before Doreen or after Doreen? Before I met her.
You tell
That's supposed to be a joke.
She's not here to defend herself.
Well, it's just a joke. It doesn't, it's not
You better
offensive.
watch it, she might hear you.
Okay. It's written about 65. It's written from Babylon. Paul wanted to be and go where no man went. All right, 513, the church that is at Babylon. And so that's where it's written from, which is no longer in existence. Now, what is the argument against that? Anybody know what the argument is? Of what, if I can recall what it is. Paul wanted, in the argument that goes against the argument I'm giving, Paul wanted to go where no man went before. And where was that? To do the preaching. He wanted to go, I believe, to Jerusalem. Or no, wait a minute, to Rome. I'm sorry, Rome. And
You wanted to go to Asia first.
Pardon?
You wanted to go to Asia, the Holy Spirit said no.
Yeah, stopped him. Said, no, he got 2 no's before he got the A-OK. What is that? Acts what? It's where he meets Lydia, Acts 16. It's got to be Lydia. But spiritually, what is the name of Rome? And where is that found? It's not the whore of Babylon, but spiritually speaking, Rome is...
Mystery Babylon?
Yeah, now what do they call it? It's in Revelation. Spiritually, it's called Rome, and I think it's called Babylon. I don't have a clicker to look it up, and I didn't check it out ahead of time. But they argue that, but see, my argument was it's called spiritually bad. They argue that it was called that. My argument is Paul went there and he was the first to go to Rome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's found in Revelation. And we are going to get to Revelation. We'll probably we went verse by verse through Revelation. So we got a whole file cabinet up there on that. Because everybody's interested on when Jesus is coming. People are interested in that. It was written from Babylon. Mystery Babylon. Here it is. Revelations, Roman Catholic located at Rome. It says Revelation 17:9. It is in here. It's Revelation 11:8. Jerusalem is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Sodom for its immorality, and Egypt because it goes after the world. It's also called Mystery Babylon in Revelation 17. And it's located at Rome, Revelation 17:9. Tiffany brought it up the other day. I can't remember what the verses were and what they meant. That's all right, I'm getting older. So Romans 15:20, let's go there. Yea, so I have strived to preach the gospel not where Christ was named. All right, here's the argument I use. Lest I should build upon another man's foundation. And so he doesn't want to, we're talking about the naming of that as far as Babylon. Acts 2:9. Where this is located, I would assume this is where Babylon is located. There in Mesopotamia. By the way, is there a Mesopotamia in Ohio?
Yep.
And where is that? Pardon?
Amish country?
Yeah, it's east of here. Due east of here. I didn't know that. Do they have a black community? Yes, they have a black community. A guy came in here. For some reason, they didn't have church. We already had the building up. We had all this here. We weren't up there. He came in. They didn't have church, and it was a black preacher came in here, and he sat down. And he told me he was from Mesopotamia. So there's a black community in there. And man, we had a good time that night. That was a good time. If you were here for that service, we had fun preaching that night. And he was really getting into it. But there's a Mesopotamia in Ohio. Romans is written about 56, and Paul never mentions Peter being in Rome. And so they always want to make Peter the first pope, but always remember the first pope, Paul called him, he referred to him as Satan. And where's that from? Acts 6, it's Acts 16.
No, it's in the gospel.
No, yeah, you're right. It's
No.
No, it's Matthew 16.
Wait.
It's chapter 16, I know that. Get behind the Satan.
No, that was Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
Yeah.
Peter, who they call the first pope.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it contains 5 chapters. It is, Peter's the best known apostle. So remember, the first 12 chapters of Acts, the main character is Peter. And the last half of Acts, the main character is Paul. There's a little overlap, but that's how that flows. He's mentioned 210 times, 162 times by Paul and the remaining disciples when they mention all the disciples, mentioning him 142 times. He was the brother of Andrew. What does it say about Andrew? I brought this up to the Ruckman preacher we were under. What is he says something about, Jesus says something about Andrew.
In whom there is no God.
Right, I brought that up to him. And he said to me, well, that would make for a good preacher. What's the definition of guile?
Deceptive,
I would call him a liar and a trickster,
evil,
evil.
the worst kind.
He's shifty. And he said, but who knows Andrew better than Jesus knows everybody?
Mr. Haney.
And Mr. Haney.
I thought it was Nathaniel. Jesus said that about Nathaniel.
But you know what? Maybe you're right. It could be. Let's go to 1 John. It could be Nathaniel. You're right. You might be right there.
All right.
Oh yeah, you're right. Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and saith of him, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no doubt. You're right. I am wrong. But he is the brother of, verse 44. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. And find Nathanael. He's the brother. He's the brother of Peter. Andrew is. And by the way, as a partnership, man, I have a preacher. I cannot think of a time I have ever seen him that he doesn't. Sometimes I always hold back. Sometimes I just tell him go find a bridge and jump off. He brings this up every time I see him. Was Peter, who were partners in the Bible? He brings it up to me every time I see it. And I don't mean sometimes, every time. He said partnership is not biblical. Why isn't it biblical? Give me a reason why. Who were partners in the Bible? Which two fishermen?
Peter and Andrew, right?
But it says their father was a fisherman, and they named the two brothers. It's when Jesus finds them. I'm just trying to think of where that is. Is it in the beginning?
James and John? Are they brothers?
It could be James and John. The point is, one night I decided I'm going to preach on that. A partnership. So who are partners here?
Brothers.
The brothers. They're partners. Well, they were brothers and they were partners. I don't know where anybody gets off saying that it's not biblical. I just can't get over that.
So,
But every time you see me, you got to bring that up. I mean, find something else to do.
I've got a question.
It
We're
says
talking
they were
about
partners.
James and John, we're talking about the Apostle John, right?
Yeah, we're talking about the apostles. And he said, come follow me.
And James is Jesus' stepbrother, and so John is his stepbrother too, right?
I don't know. The point is they were partners. He's going down to the seaside and he picks up these guys. Now, did they just, he just said, come follow me, and they came? Now, the theory of that is they already knew about Jesus and saw some things. Who's the tax collector? Matthew. Is it Matthew the tax collector?
Yeah.
And he said, and he left the seat of custom, or he left that seat, and he followed him right there. From then on, he quit. Well, the idea is that they heard of Jesus. They probably saw a few miracles along the way, and said, you know, this is it. We're out of here. We're closing up shop. So they were partners. Andrew brought Peter to Jesus. There's nothing wrong with this being a family affair. So, why are there more Christians in America than there are in Saudi Arabia? It's because the parents get saved and they want their children saved. Now, I'll have people come and say, well, my son or my daughter, they're asking questions. I want you to come over and lead them to Jesus. And I used to do that. And I'd say, and I stopped doing that. And I said, oh no, you know enough about the gospel. This is the gospel message, the death, burial, resurrection, asking Jesus into your heart, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that you can lead your own children to the Lord. And so I stopped doing that. And there's no greater thrill than a parent doing that with their own kids. It's a family affair. If you want to lose friends, tell them about Jesus. You get rid of it. Why don't you have any friends? Well, we ran out of friends. They would have a powwow before we have the family gathering. Whether it's my brothers-in-laws, they'll say, we would joke about it. Whatever you do before we arrive, whatever you do, they have a meeting. Don't mention what?
The Masons.
Don't. Did you say the Masons? Don't mention Jesus. Because the moment we mention Jesus, now we get off on that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else. What else is there to talk about? If you're talking about something else, I shut down. I just shut down and just, all right, I'll listen to it. But all right, so the Indians lost. What else is there? Right? There's that discussion only goes so far. But whatever you do, don't mention the Jesus. And so it is a family affair. There's nothing wrong with winning your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors. If you want an education, bring up Jesus and witness to your neighbor. You're going to get an education. We've gone from the Unity Church all the way to being a mystic. It's just what you never dreamed would be possible is very possible. All right, the Gospel of John. If you go to the Gospel of John, you get some of these relations in there. Chapter 1's a long chapter. Andrew brought Peter to Jesus. Again, the next day, after John stood and two of his disciples, and looking upon Jesus as he walked, he said, "Behold the Lamb of God." Two disciples heard him speak. They followed Jesus. They turned and saw them following, and said unto them, "What seek ye?" They said unto him, "Rabbi," which is to say, being interpreted, "Master, where dwellest thou?" He saith, "Come unto them, come and see." They came and saw where he dwelt, and abode with them. And one of the two which heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He first findeth his own brother Simon, and saith unto him, "We have found the Messiah," which is being interpreted, the Christ. All right, so he brings his own brother. And and the father's name, 142, "Thou art Simon, the son of Jonah." That's his father's name. All right. Peter has a few names here. He's called Simon, he's called Cephas, and he's called Peter. He has three names. And the one means the stone, and that Peter means that too. It means little rock. And so why are there two names?
Wasn't that to protect him because he wasn't dead?
Why are there two names? No, that was about the cutting off of the ear. And that's revealed in John. By then, those that had done that were dead, so they couldn't hunt them down and kill them. If that would have been a motive, not to say that would have happened, but that's one theory as to why. I would assume one is a Greek name, one is a Hebrew name, and that name means like a willow cane. He's wishy-washy. He's got the 1 foot. I brought this up to the wife. What makes people at a wedding do the hokey pokey? Adults. Why do they do that?
Their version of fun.
It's their version of fun, but then they get enough in them, a few belts in them, and they'll do almost anything. You know, and shake it all about, you know. And it gets wild. So a willow cane, in other words, they're not solid on anything. They're not solid on anything. It's like the expression, what floats your boat. Anything flies. Anything flies. Well, we don't live off like that. 1 Peter 5:12, this may be the deliverer, the writer of the letter. 1 Peter 5:12. First Peter 5:12. By Silvanus, a faithful brother unto you, I suppose I have written briefly, exhorting, testifying that this is the true grace of God wherein you stand. So somebody is helping write it or deliver it. It doesn't necessarily say deliver, but that's probably the one that wrote it. Could the fishermen read and write? This is what always amazes me. I mean, they didn't have how do you justify homeschooling? I've heard the arguments. Justify. This is one of their justifications. Where do you write the law? Now, the law is already written in the heart in Hebrews or Romans 2. Law is already in the heart. You're supposed to write it on the doorpost, on your forehead. It's the commandments. What does that have to do with algebra? I can't get it. You can twist that pretzel any way you want,
Because what they're being.
but you can't biblically.
They're
do
not
this.
teaching the kids to be smart in public schools. They're teaching them to be slaves and not think for themselves. You're going to get that stuff in the homeschool. That's my vote for it.
Well, I'm not against homeschooling.
They're turning
I'm
out
just saying your
totally-
argument doesn't.
They're sending out Marxists and everything. People want to tear the place down.
We're supposed to be the first homeschoolers in our area on the
I
planet.
wish I had a homeschool.
Yeah. Well, the reason we homeschool is I don't want my kids around those kids. I mean, we had people go to Lima for the criminally
You
insane.
don't want them around teachers.
You know, oh my goodness. When the teacher gets off the subject, let's say they're teaching history or they're teaching science, whatever, when they get off the subject and you find out what they really believe. I was a little kid. I'm thinking, boy, my mom and dad don't think like that. We were off the reservation. It was strange of what they think. You think it's weird now? It's weird back then.
Train up a child.
Yeah.
That's the commandment.
All right, now we're gonna look up, and we'll start here on what time is it?
11.
It's 11 bells. Peter was married, we'll pick it up right there. Oh, here, we already did this. Acts 1 through 12 is all about Peter. That's a main character. Acts 13 through 28 is generally about Paul. These are general things in these lessons that you need to memorize. And if you're in Sunday school and you hear generally, it should stick with you. Now listen, for some people, you hear it once, you never forget it. That's how some people are. Other people can hear it over and over from now to doomsday. That doesn't mean you're not going to heaven. All right? But we'll pick it up at number 10. We've already done 11 and 12. And it shows the last place that Peter is mentioned somewhere. Oh, here. Simon, the Greek name Simon, the Hebrew name, Cephas, the Aramaic name. Part of the Bible is in Aramaic. In some of what we would call minor prophets. Peter's Greek means small stone, and it's recorded in Matthew 16:18. Father, bless now the preaching. In Christ's name, amen.